Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I raise today in opposition to AB 59, the Assembly Companion Bill, that would give the last remaining private for-profit water utility in the state access to public money to replace lead service lines, their side and the customer side. This issue has relevance in only one district, the one I represent. In fact, it only has relevance in one of the cities in my district, Superior. So you might think it's strange that I'm not the Assembly author on this bill. I think that's strange too. Even more strange is that the Senate author, my senator, won't return my calls. And so we haven't had a chance to talk about this issue or all of the complexities that surround it. The company brought the author's language, LRB drafted it, they had a couple of hearings, and that's it. Their work stopped there. And since they didn't hold any town halls or public meetings on this topic, maybe they don't know that the people of Superior pay the highest water rates in the state, and they're sick of it. Or that even as an economically disadvantaged area, where federal money would cover 75% of the replacement costs, the utility has quoted a replacement expense that's twice the state average. That would leave the average customer, the working and middle class people of Superior, with a $2,500 bill under this proposal. That's outrageous. And especially since people throughout the state who have municipally owned water systems are getting their lead lines, many of them, replaced for free. Because many municipalities are taking advantage of this infusion of money to cover the balance. They may not know that the city has expressed an interest in acquiring the utility, which they're allowed to do under state law. I don't know if they should acquire it. It's not my call. That's between the city and its residents. But I do know that I'm not going to do something that could inflate the value of a private company at the public's expense. According to an expert in utilities acquisitions with whom I spoke, and a memo drafted by Ledge Council, depending on how the PSC decides to value the utility, giving public money to a private company to replace their infrastructure could increase the company's value. A company that might soon be acquired by BlackRock. Just before municipal acquisition, we could be using taxpayer dollars to increase the cost. Did they think about any of that? Did they even know? Do they know that the city council discussed a resolution of support for this bill and that they voted it down? Why would we vote for something that the local elected officials don't want? I don't get it. But it's certainly not the first time I've seen it. We routinely ignore local officials and professionals, from mayors to county mental health professionals to school superintendents, who are telling us what they need. And as we saw at JFC hearings, sometimes they're reduced to begging for what they need, and we ignore them. Despite all of these people being closer to the issues and understanding their complexity, Republicans in this legislature think they know best. We've seen it time and time again. You say you need 60% reimbursement? How about 35%? You say you need millions in investments to meet college students' evolving needs, including keeping tuition low? Nah, I think you need a cut. Do people still get to call themselves representatives even when they don't listen to the people they were sent here to serve? I thought we were elected to represent our constituents, not for-profit companies or just those who can afford it when we don't do our jobs. And we're not here to represent abstract ideological beliefs, whether about tax cuts or the size of government or anything else. Yes, I will admit, it's hard work to work through the complexity to make good things happen. But that's what we were sent here to do. Not to spend so much time thinking about the next election or trying to get attention or fighting with each other that we lose sight that being a representative isn't about acting like you're doing the work. It's actually doing the work, listening, doing research, and working together. Of course, I'm assuming that you would do that if your goal is to actually get results for people. The process that got us here on this bill is unacceptable. Nevertheless, I'm happy to report that after countless hours of meetings, including public town halls and literally dozens of phone calls each with the mayor and the president of the company, as of this morning, the city and the company look to possibly be on the brink of a deal that would be of enormous benefit to the ratepayers of Superior. If this deal happens, customers could get their lines replaced for nothing. And we are building as many guardrails as possible around the public money that would go into the utility. And if we had gotten this deal before this came to the floor, I was going to be able to vote yes, because I want to be able to vote yes. But unfortunately, because there was no consultation with the people doing the actual work, here we are, out of time, forced to vote on something that isn't good enough for the people I represent. And so I'm voting no. But I will say that I hope the city and the company keep working on a deal despite my vote. And maybe the governor will sign it into law. Who knows? Yes, at the end of the day, we need to get the lead out. And we will. But how we do it matters. Will we do it in a way that provides maximum benefits to the residents of the city I represent? Or will we do it in a way that disregards their concerns and serves as a handout to a private company? This issue only affects my district. So maybe you don't care about the specifics. But I hope that you recognize that this is a case study of so much that is wrong in this building. I hope that all of us, especially my Republican colleagues, who still have so much power, wake up and realize that there are actual human beings on the other side of our decisions who desperately need us to get things right. Too many people in this legislature seem content to do the absolute bare minimum, to toy with our constituents' lives. Maybe you think that sticking people with a $2,500 bill to replace their water lines is no big deal. Well, if you represent a wealthy suburb, maybe it's no big deal for you. But for the people in my district, it is a very big deal. And I know that because I asked them, and then I listened, and that's why my decision here today is red. The vote is no.
Seeing no one else in the queue, we'll now